Okay, Boker Tov to everybody. We are continuing in the time we left off in our second class of the morning in Bet El. And we said that the whole restriction of doing insulation on Shabbat, we're not allowed to do insulation, and the whole restriction only applies whenever a person does it for the nighttime. For example, a person wants to put pot inside a crack, inside a coals that used to be back in the day, and he wants to use this food, serve that food on Friday night. Then the insulation problem starts. Nowadays we don't use coals. Nowadays people use crock pot, slow cooker. Those slow cooker, it also has hot metals that is surrounding the pot. So are we allowed to use this on Shabbat or no? So says Ovadia Yosef, if you're going to use it for Shabbat morning, you could be lenient. Why? Because Shabbat morning we have many reasons to be lenient. One of the opinions is Rabbi Shaya that says that the whole restriction, one of the Rishonim explains the Gemara, the whole problem of the Gemara was Chazal restricted is only for Friday night. But for Shabbat morning, there is no problem. That's case number one. So case number two is the whole restriction of Atmana is only if a person going to touch the hot things, like coals, used to touch the pot. Nowadays, the coals doesn't touch the pot. Not the coals, the crock pot. If you realize in your crock pots, they're between the flat layer, the flat metal, and the insert, there is an insert goes on a slope. So it forms a gap. Mm-hmm. So says Ovadia Yosef, that gap gives us a easier halachic status to say that there is no problem of atmana. Oh. Okay?
Should be off, no?
Yeah, it turned off, yeah. Thank you. There is no problem of atmana whenever there is not touching. That's what the Ritba and the Ramban explain the problem of atmana. That's why a person asks, Rabbi, can I put things back in my oven on Shabbat or no? A person wants to reheat baksh, supposed to reheat bread. Can you put it back inside the oven or no on Shabbat? Because it's surrounding it with heat. The oven is going to give to it heat. So Ovadia Yosef says, if you're going to make a change from the way it's usually done, you bake bread, you don't bake it inside a pot. You don't bake bread and cover it with aluminum foil when you bake bread. So can you close that door? So since you don't bake bread with cover aluminum foil, comes out that the aluminum foil will be as an indicator that I'm not baking right now, only warming right now. Because when you bake bread, you don't bake it with covered aluminum foil.
Yeah, sure.
You don't, when you bake it, when you bake any pastry, you don't cover it because the sweat of the heat is going to make the pastry very soggy. It's not tasty. Mm-hmm. So people all the time that they bake pastry, they're always exposed. If it's goshkija, if it is pizza, if it is bread, always must be exposed. Mm-hmm. The heat that it produces should go away. It should not go back to the dough because then it becomes very soggy and not tasty. So if a person wants to right now reheat let's say bread, he wants to put it back inside the oven. Is he allowed to do this or no? The answer would be, it depends of how do you usually bake bread. You don't bake bread when you put aluminum cover on top. So you can put on Shabbat a baked bread already and bake in the oven by cover the aluminum foil on top, just to make sure that it is an indicator. People don't do like that. Or put it inside a pot. Whenever you bake bread, you don't bake it in a pot. If you don't want to cover the top with aluminum foil, there's a solution number two, that you can put it inside a pot, cooking pot.
Well, when people make sourdough bread, they put it in a Dutch oven, which is a pot.
In a regular pot?
Yeah.
That you cook with?
For I mean, you could cook anything in a Dutch oven, but that's how they make sourdough.
Okay, so if that's the way they do it, so it's not a change. You're gonna make it in a normal way. Mm-hmm. To show that I am not, make sure that the handles are not plastic, because putting it in the oven, it can hurt it. So that's the indicator. Question is, okay, as far as cooking, there is no problem because it's already baked. There is no cooking after baking. But what as far as hatmana, insulation? The oven is insulating the bread. Says Ovadia Yosef, the source of heat that the oven has, those high elements, the metals or whatever it is, it's not touching the bread.
Only the air is.
It's not touching the pot. It's not touching the tray, fully surrounding it, like coals back in the day used to do. You put a pot surrounded with coals, it's touching it directly. This was atmana, insulation problem. But whenever it does not touch, there is a gap. There is no problem.
Even if the oven is on Shabbat.
Yeah, even though the oven is on, that's the whole thing. How are you going to warm up in a turned off oven?
It could have been on. You turn it off. It's still warm.
Yeah, no, even if it is on, that's the idea. Better to get the ones that had Shabbos mode, so this way you don't turn on anything when you open the door. Okay, so that's one reason, says Ovadia, why crock pots are also allowed for Shabbat morning, because you have the combination of the opinion that says when it does not touch, the metal does not touch the insert. It has a gap. That gap allows us to say that there is no atmana problem, even though the gap is very small. Coals used to touch it. This doesn't touch it. Sure. That's the point. That's another solution. Another solution is Shema bechashmal v'gaz shel yamin en bichlal gzerat shema yichate. Says Rav Ovadia, another reason why crock pot will be allowed. Again, remember Rav Ovadia Yosef over here argues with many Ashkenazi rabbis that restricted the crock pot. So you gotta bring a lot of proofs. Why are you going against us? So he brings another proof. He says the whole fear of Chazal was about coals. What is coals? Gehalim. That's something that constantly dies out. So you constantly need to poke it in order to make tchiyat hametim to it, to revive it. Without you poking it, it's not going to get up again. It's not going to wake up. It's going to die. So you need to always poke it. So Chazal said, don't put your pot before Shabbat in coals, because there is a big chances that you're going to forget and poke the coals and you're going to violate Shabbat D'Oraita. So Chazal put a restriction of not insulating in something that they have coals, something that can add on the heat. Says Ovadia, today the source of food, of warming up the food that we use, it's never something that dies out. The electricity that we have, the gas that we have is constant, providing it's a constant supply. Yeah, thank you. It's a constant supply. So because of that, there is no problem, says Ovadia, of maybe you're going to poke the coals. Therefore, we can rely on those opinions in combination of the first opinion when it does not touch, and say there is no insulation problem. And combination of the opinion that says it's for the morning, there was no insulation even with coals. How much more so not with electricity? There is none. So we have already few reasons to be lenient, arguing with those rabbis that was restricting it. That were restricting it. Halakha Brura, which is the son of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, is the chief rabbi today of Eretz Israel. Some people, the chief rabbi, they don't know anything. The chief rabbi because politics. But this rabbi is, Baruch Hashem, chief rabbi that knows. Knows a lot. So he has books called, in Siman 257 in Halakha 32, he says that you're allowed to use a crock pot even for the nighttime. He's more lenient than his father under one condition, that you're going to take out the knobs. The crock pot has a knob. You know knob? The dial, take it out before Shabbat.
He's allowed to paskin after his father.
Yes. So my father didn't speak about this case. I add another solution that if you want to use it for Friday night, some catering halls need to use crock pots for Friday nights.
Some crock pots have the digital buttons, not the knobs.
Right. So cover it.
With foil.
Yeah. Cover the digital knobs, or cover the, if you cannot take it out because you're afraid it's going to break so many times in and out, you can cover it with aluminum foil. This way, if you come to say, reminder. Don't touch the fire, as a reminder.
And how do the Ashkenaz paskin?
This I'm not sure. This I'm not sure about their opinion. I'm telling you Rabbi David Yosef's opinion, Sephardic opinion. And he says, how much more so if the food will be 30% cooked, or better to have at least 50% cooked.
Where did he get 30 from? That's new.
There's debate between Rashi and Rambam. What is Ma'achal ben Drosai? Gemara says after Ma'achal ben Drosai, Hanania says there is no problem of Atman of Shia. Hanania says. What is Ma'achal ben Drosai? Gemara says Ma'achal means food. Ben Drosai means a name of a thief. His name was Ben Drosai. Mafioznik. This mafioso used to steal and always was on the way. The whole world was after him. He was wanted pictures all over the world. So he was always on the go. There was never one place he could sit down and cook his food normally. He was cooking food a little bit, yalla, let's go, yalla, let's go. It's called partially cooked. So the Gemara referred to that partially cooked food after his name. Because he used to always eat like that, partially food cooked. Partially cooked food.
Scared my house to go.
He always had to on the run. Hey, people caught me over here, payachali. He never had time to sit down and eat food.
Kimo matzah.
Yeah,
That's
What was his end?
I don't know.
They don't.
I don't know. Maybe the Chazal talk about it. I didn't see. So they referred to that food that is partially cooked, the food of this guy, Ma'achal ben Drosai. Now, what is this Ma'achal ben Drosai? Is it half cooked, or is it 1/3 cooked? To what degree he was running away from people? How fast was it? So there's a machloket in Rambam and Rashi. Rambam says shlish. Rashi says half. That's why I pretty sure he said those names.
At least 30%.
Yeah, at least. So since it is 30% cooked, that's the next door or upstairs.
I think next door. He's testing.
Okay. We have Brit Milah over here. Mitzvah. There's a mitzvah to be in Brit Milah, but there's a bigger mitzvah to study Torah.
So you said
If you Avia Ben, if you Mohel, you Sandak, then you go. You miss on your Torah learning. But if you're none of those three, you're just standing over there.
You're not
mitzvah?
passing on mitzvah if you're there already?
No, because the mitzvah didn't start yet.
What about
Sorry,
the
then you can't leave.
Yeah.
About to hear the
Start is this. Second. Stay and they go.
And that's it, right?
But that's if you were there. But to go there and miss on your Torah learning is more bigger. Talmud Torah, Kenegut Kulam. One word that you guys learned on Torah equals to all 613 mitzvot. You guys understand this? This is not Hasidic Pshat. This is Gaon Mivilna writes it. Gaon Mivilna. One word of Torah equals to 613 mitzvot deoraita in 1 second, not even second, one word.
So was that more important than anything, pretty much, you're doing?
Yeah. Learning of the Torah.
Going to a wedding, anything else?
The highest mitzvah you can ever imagine is the study of the Torah. That's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
What about to make a kindness for somebody right now, to help?
Chesed.
Chesed.
Yeah. If you can do it yourself, obviously do it. But if you can pay somebody, go to Chesed for him, pay. Always exchange. Listen to this rule. Something that it is returnable versus something it's not returnable. Understood what he said? Ovadia said, that's how Ovadia Yosef tell to his
Money is
sons.
returnable, time is not returnable.
Very good. Always exchange something that it is returnable. Money you gave, yeah, you exchanging it. Tomorrow you can get money. Money goes, money comes. Money comes, money goes. That's a life. Time goes, never comes back. So that's what I have to think. What? Right now I have an hour. What should I invest that hour in? Always in the Torah. Unless it's relatives, they're going to get hurt, there's problems. So then
And even there's machlok, problem.
Meir HaTzadik. Meir, we're so happy every time I see you. I know today we're going to finish early. You have such a good mazal. You see today you were not Chazan, we finished early because there was Brit Milah Yishev. Yalla. So that's Halacha Bura says, אפילו ללא כיסוי, תאכל משהו. אפילו ללא כיסוי, הכפתור וגם מקל הלילה, שיש ג' ספק ספקה. So it says if the food is already partially cooked, and the knob the dial is covered or taken out, and it's not touching, the metal doesn't touch the thing, we have 3 reasons already to be lenient, says Rabbi David Yosef, even for Friday night.
But even if the knob was still there, I mean, you're still okay.
Just cover the knob. Or take out the knob.
Okay.
One of the two for Friday night. For Friday night is a must.
I got you.
If you're gonna eat the food not for Friday night, you're gonna eat the food on
For
Shabbat
Saturday,
morning,
you're good.
then you're
Leave
good.
it exposed.
Yeah.
Got you. Thank you for the clarification.
אגב, כתב ההלכה ברורה לעכל כדי למנוע איסור שהייה, אפילו באש גלויה, מספיק בכיסוי כפתורים ולא חייב לכסות את האש. So he says if a person wants to leave food on an open fire, אמיר ג'ון, איפה אתה? בוא ללמוד תורה, בוא.
שי, קם.
כבר חתכו, כבר עשו, מה יש לך שם? בוא.
פתחו, זהו.
האמת שאני חייב לכבד שם.
Thank you.
It's moving.
Yeah. אולי תסגור את הדלת שלא יהיה רעש. בוא, 5 דקות. Chama, we're happy to see you.
Thank you. Happy to see you guys.
האם מותר להטמין צונן? So now, until now we spoke about making הטמנה, insulation, for something that it is hot. What about something the person wants to do, shayken? Person wants to do for something that it is cold. I'll give you an example. When I used to be a child, my mother, we didn't have microwave in the house. Microwave was a luxury to have. Maybe Mish microwave. Today, $20 they have microwave. Back in the day, it was a big thing to have microwave. So I never had microwave in my childhood. So how my mother used to keep food warm for us. In the morning, she used to cook the food. Used to put it in a langri, in the serving plate, covered with another big plate, and put it under the mattress of the sofa, and put blankets on top. We used to come in the afternoon from school. We used to undig all that, take it out. It was still warm. It's not hot, but it was not cold. It was pleasant to eat like that. So says I now on Shabbat, let's say you want to do the same thing. Can you take food and put it under blankets in order to keep it warm? Practical example is some people go and they want to bring their food to their relatives. Yeah? Good if you can close that door. Some people want to bring food to their relatives. Let's say you made right now certain fish, certain meat or whatever it is. And they don't want to make it cold on the way. You don't want it to become cold. So what people will do, they'll take it, warm it at surrounded, insulated with blankets, with towels, stuff like that, in order to take it on the way for the heat to maintain. Shabbat, you're allowed to do this or no? Says Ovadia, he says, if your kavanah is to keep the warmth, you're not allowed to. If your kavanah is to keep the warmth, you're not allowed to. If your kavanah is for not to spill, or for flies not to go on it on the way, then you are allowed. מאיר, הבנת או לא הבנת?
הבנתי, אבל מה, אתה עובד על עצמך?
לא קומבינות, זה לא IRS, אתה עושה קומבינות עליהם. This is we're talking about what is emet. Emet, what are you doing it for? Rabbi, I go on the way, there's a lot of flies, I don't want to go on my food. So I'm covering it. Okay, good. Your kavanah is not to keep the warmth. Your kavanah is?
To keep it safe.
To keep it safe, to keep it clean. In this case, you're allowed to. Sometimes a person wants to warm up, he has a pita. He took pita out of the freezer, and he wants to warm it up, and he has blankets on the plata, on the chamin or whatever. He wants to put it under the blanket.
But what if I want to keep it warm? Why is it not allowed?
Oh, so one of our laws on Shabbat, we're not allowed to do atmana. Atmana is insulation.
Yes.
We're not allowed to do insulation on Shabbat. So now this person takes the pita.
Matters? The material matters?
Oh, very good. What if it is material that does not add on heat, such as towel?
Yeah.
So says Ovadia, towel, you're allowed to make insulation if you started the insulation before Shabbat.
Before Shabbat.
Like our old babulas, all our grandmothers used to put the food and cover it with some towels, with some blankets on top of it, some kurpecha on top of it. That used to be back in the day very common. Even nowadays I see some people do it. Now, since they started it before Shabbat, the cover, even if the cover was failed or was removed, you're allowed to recover it again if it's fully cooked food. If it is not there, and for the first time you want to put it over it, that's a problem.
טומנים את החמין.
טומנים את החמין מתי? מערב שבת.
בראש, כן?
Abbe Shabbat, not allowed to. Therefore, says Ovadia, if a person right now he wants to take a pita, and he wants to put it under the towel. The towel was there already, but the towel covered the hamim. It didn't cover the pita. And the pita right now you're putting under the towel. Mutar or asur? Asur.
Why? If the towel was there already, he said if it was already there, then allowed.
It was there already, over the hamim, not over your pita. The pita you're putting now.
What's the problem?
Problem is atmana for the first time. We're not allowed to do atmana, insulation, for the first time.
But it doesn't help to bake or cook the bread any longer.
You are
So
correct.
what's the problem?
Problem is, Chazal were afraid that if a person is gonna do atmana on Shabbat with towels, he's gonna do the same thing with coals. He's going to surround it. The same way the towels are keeping the heat inside, so the coals will keep the heat inside. What's the difference? And in coals, people are gonna chas v'shalom
Okay.
stoke it.
You could leave on top though, right?
Yeah, put the pita on top of the towel, no problem. Put the pita for the first time on Shabbat under the towel, this will be a problem. Unless a person says, listen, why don't you put it on the towel? It's gonna also get defrosted. I said, Rabbi, there's some flies over here. I don't want it to sit on my pita. So the reason you're putting it under the towel is not because of the heat. It's because you don't want it to get dirty from the bacteria of the flies.
Well, you know, by the way, it's gonna get warm.
True. But what is your main reason you put it under the towel?
Honestly,
For the warmth?
to warm it up.
Okay, so if that's your main kavanah, then you're not allowed to. But if my main kavanah to put under the towel is just for the flies not to sit on it. Or sometimes people do the netilat yadayim, the plata is next to it. If I put the pita over the towel, the water of the netilat yadayim splashes on the bread. So I don't want it to become soggy. So I'm trying to put it on the towel to keep it safe. Better safe than sorry.
They're safe than soggy.
Than soggy. אם עושים בהגדרה כיסוי אחר שנחסה כבר שבת, בכל זאת מותר לחזור ולכסות אותה. הרב עובדיה יוסף סייס, בואי מאיר תקרא קצת, עייפתי.
תקרא, אני מקשיב, אני בהקשבת.
If a person he removed the cover, Yitzchak, from his chamin.
Remove the what? Cover?
The cover. The korpecha, the blanket.
One is under the thing.
No under, no. The food is under, the korpecha is on top, the blanket is on top.
Okay.
Now we said on Shabbat you're not allowed to put korpecha on top, the covers, the blanket.
If you don't know, you will not.
What if I had it before Shabbat? And then on Shabbat, I removed the cover, I served, then I want to put it back on the plata, not in crock pot, in plata, and I cover it again.
So if the food is cooked, it's
Can I do this or no? Babuля doesn't like when I leave the osvo without the blanket.
If it's cooked, then it's no problem.
Osvo is gonna get cold. Prastinit. Shamon Mechura. So she likes always when the osvo is covered with the blanket. So I come right now after nits, 8 o'clock in the morning. I want to open the pot, remove the blanket, put some in my plate, close the lid, and put the blanket again.
Back in the system.
Can I do this or no? I'm covering. I removed the blanket
If
altogether.
it's in the same spot, you don't take the whole thing out, it's okay.
I took the whole thing out. I took the pot. I came to the kitchen to the dining room with that. I served my plate. I removed the blanket altogether. I finished my thing, serving myself. Then I want to put it back on the plata, close the lid, and cover it again with the blanket.
This was
Put it on the
before
floor?
Shabbat or after?
Huh?
Did you put it on the floor?
I put on the floor.
This was before Shabbat?
That's the problem.
Huh? On Shabbat. Shabbat morning, 8 o'clock in the morning.
כל עוד הוא
Should be okay.
רותח, יעני, שהיד נשרפת, אתה יכול להחזיר אותו.
No, even if it is cold, you're allowed to return because it is the osvo is solid.
Allowed or not allowed?
Somebody asked me, Rabbi, my osvo is not liquidy, but it's not solid. It's like in between. Stew. What is the status of the stew? Is it solid or is it liquid?
It's not majority liquid, so it's probably...
So I told him the indicator will be like this. When you take, this is water, right? See water? This is water. When you're going to pour water into a different cup, it's going to continuously go. That's liquid. But whenever it goes, puk, interrupts, that's by halakha called,
Interrupts the flow.
interrupts the flow. It's considered by halakha solid, not liquid.
אז חמין, it's also solid.
Huh?
Chulent also solid.
It depends what status children you have. Some people like it very liquidy. Some people like it very liquidy. If it's very liquidy, then it's soup. Got it? Go. I think we're going to stop the recording today. We'll continue for more minutes ourselves. I don't want it to be balagan in the recording.